Hey guys, so I just want to go over my build really quick. This is a Blade Blast of Unloading Saboteur, and I decided to build around the cold conversion version, which is fully converting physical to cold. So this is an expensive glove that I got here. The reason for that is because I believe this character doesn't have good defenses to begin with, so I wanted to see if I could lean in towards the cold version and freeze everything and use that as a defensive layer. And in conclusion, the build was not great. As expected, if it doesn't have any spell suppression, I even tried to fit in determination in this build, and I have a mage blood with a granite flask, and my armor is about 24,000, but I have no evasion, no spell suppression, and it's kind of rough. As you can see, I'm a level 90 here. I'm struggling to even level up at this point just because I'm trying to run high level essences, and I had high expectations for this build. I wanted to give it a try just because the damage is good. I'm going to show you a few clips later, but I would not recommend this build just because it's too squishy in my opinion. I also came from playing a chieftain, so that was basically an immortal build. So coming to this build, you have to kite around more, and it's just a lot more tricky to play. It's also not cheap. So my gear, as you can see, I have a +1 Utula, and then a Heat Shiver with +1 power charge. Mage Blood, obviously. A Relicash is quite affordable now. And then the jewels themselves, they're not cheap as well. This one here is affordable, but I did not even get a cold jewel. This is just a 2-mod Blanketed Snow Widespread Destruction. And then everything else is pretty standard. A Militant Faith. And I have a Storm Shroud to be ailment immune, but it doesn't really matter because it's just not enough layer of defenses in this build. Standard Watcher's Eye. This one here is actually quite pricey as well. And then this jewel is quite nice. I was able to grab this for 5 divines, but unfortunately I can't. The spell suppression here isn't that useful. And Saboteur itself, the Ascendancy gives you some nice damage, but it doesn't have a lot of good defense layers. Maybe if you can run it on a Trickster and get a Forbidden Flame, Forbidden Flesh for Perfect Crime, it might work, but this version definitely lacks defenses. But that aside, the damage is pretty incredible. But that's really what it has going for it, nothing much. So I'll show you a few clips here of some boss kills, some mapping, and yeah, I would not recommend this build if you're looking for something that can bring you up to level 95 to 100. Alright, so this is a T16 map. It's a Guardian map, and I built this character with the goal of running Essences and Legion, and eventually go into boss rushing. So that was the plan, but the survivability is questionable at this point, so I think I'm going to bail on this character and invest in maybe my explosive trap trickster instead. But as you can see here, the in a bit, the damage on essence is great. You know, the single target is definitely 10 out of 10 on this build, but you get into tricky situations like this where you have no recoup, you have no life regeneration, and I am relying solely on life leech. I guess I could run a life flask, but I'd rather not. It's I don't think that will fix the build. I think I would need to sacrifice quite a bit of DPS in order to balance out the character, but that takes away from the fun of playing this skill. But yeah, overall, let me know what you think. If you have an alternative way of building this character, but I might revisit this in the future, but for now I think I'm going to go with another build.
This nightmare may finally end.
At least try to hold my attention.
I'm first.